It was about 3 minutes into the blackout, and immediately my mind raced toward worst-case scenarios. I mean, how long would the power be out? Would the streets below fill with rising floodwaters? Would the winds start to rip apart the tall buildings that surrounded me? Would Chen's Chinese palace still be able to deliver? I wasn't sure. As I sat there alone with my 2 dogs, Pika and Peebo, alone in a darkened apartment with nothing more than a dimly lit flashlight, a couple of votive candles, and a half-gallon jug of water, I had powered through all the non-perishables I bought for the storm an hour before it even started. And then I started to think about this television show that I love. It's called I Survived. And it tells these stories of ordinary people who do extraordinary things to survive catastrophic events. And there's this farmer in Iowa who finds himself alone in his field tending to his crop when his corn husking machine jams. So he reaches in to clear the jam and his hand gets sucked into the gears. The harder he pulls to free himself, the further in his hand gets stuck. After a few minutes of this tug of war, he realizes the machine's now started on fire, and he can feel his hand burning. So he takes out a pocket knife, and he cuts off his own arm. Could I do that? Could I cut off one of my own limbs? I mean, a digit, sure, but an arm or a leg? I wasn't sure. And then there's this woman somewhere in Oregon who wakes up on a beautiful spring morning and decides to go for a hike. So she gathers up her border collie, Bo, and heads out to her favorite trail somewhere in the dense woods. About halfway through the hike, she steps on a moss-covered rock, slips, falls, and breaks both of her legs. So she lays there for days, waiting for rescuers to happen by, and they don't. And then she realizes she might not live long enough to be rescued. So she does the only thing she thinks she can. She kills and eats her border collie, Bo. I mean, could I do that? Could I kill and eat one of my small dogs? And if I could, which one would I choose? The Spaniel mix or the Papillon? I wasn't sure. And then I started to think about this young man from Louisiana who survived Hurricane Katrina. And they show this video of him perched high on his rooftop, crouched in the corner with nothing but a stick and a dirty white t-shirt tied to the end. And he's slowly waving it back and forth. And then you see the camera scan across the roof. And you can see that he's written the word help using only his own feces. Wow. I mean, this gave me hope. Because I don't know if I could amputate one of my own limbs. And I don't know if I could eat one of my small dogs. But when push comes to shove, and my life is on the line, I know I could shit for help.